Are you excited then to see which English 23-man squad is going to be chasing back and forth after a ball that gets kicked for 80 minutes like a spaniel out in the park? Come on then, let's do this. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers, and here is England's 23-man squad for their final World Cup warm-up game against Fiji. Now, just before I start, I did want to do a preview with both of these teams and then a combined 15, but I've got to go to a wedding in a little bit, and I've been hitting refresh and refresh on Fiji's feeds, and there's nothing there. So I can only talk about England at this point, but there is plenty to talk about. And the big question, what is Steve Borthwick thinking with this squad? What's going on? What's going on? Because I've looked at this for a little bit, and I'm trying to make sense of it. Okay, because every other team seems to be going in fully loaded. We've seen a fully loaded France, we've seen a fully loaded New Zealand and South Africa, maybe with one or two little tweaks that are very strategic, where they're specific positions where they want to get someone game time or someone hasn't quite recovered, so they want to give them a bit of rest time. But all very, it's like a minute operations. A master surgeon just doing some meticulous final bits of planning. Whereas England, well, I think it demonstrates where they're at, doesn't it? When you look at that squad, because it's hard to know. Is that kind of how much of that is a first choice team and how much of it isn't? Is that changing things up a lot? It's hard. So let's go through it. I'd love to know your comments though. What do you think? Are you enthusiastic about this one, or are you kind of scratching your head a little bit? Leave your comments and hit subscribe as well. Thank you very much for that. Let's just focus on numbers 8 and 9 for a minute, because without Jack Van Portfleet getting injured, and then Ben Youngs played last time, and with no Billy Vanapola for the Argentina game, Alex Mitchell in at scrum half. I mean, that's a player I absolutely love. If you look at the videos in the feed, I've been calling for him to be England's scrum half for absolutely ages. And Ben Earl gets the nod at number 8, a reward for his performances in a poor England team the last couple of weeks. That's quite exciting. But then again, this is where I get to with England at the minute, and this is what I've been saying. I almost don't think who they pick matters if they carry on with this same game plan. Alex Mitchell is not a player you want to play if what you want to do is have the opposition having the ball for 70% of the game. I'm hoping that Alex Mitchell's selection is a suggestion that Steve Borthwick wants quicker rucks, faster play, more phases. I'm hoping that's what that signals. Because to be honest, if you play Alex Mitchell and even George Ford, and all you want to do is wallop the ball up the other end of the pitch and chase hard, I don't think it particularly matters who you play. He's gone for a couple of big Bosches in the centre in Manu Tuolangi and Ollie Lawrence, although that is a bit unfair to Ollie Lawrence. I like Ollie Lawrence best when he's at 13. That's where he's played the bulk of his career. It's only very recently he started playing 12, and he's looked okay there for England. 13, I think he's very, very good. Joe Marchant has been decent there, particularly defensively he's been good. So that's interesting. But what's going on the wings? I've heard that Anthony Watson's got a little niggle, but then no Elliot Daly and no Henry Arundel, the other wingers you've actually picked in your squad. But Johnny May is in, who's not even in the squad. Is that because Johnny May might have to be called up, and so he's just preparing him to maybe be involved in the squad if Anthony Watson or someone else isn't fit? Or is this Steve Borthwick withdrawing key players from his squad because he doesn't want to risk injury? He's already got a little niggle to Anthony Watson, so we better not risk Henry Arundel or Elliot Daly. Let's withdraw him. Is that what's going on with Jamie George at hooker as well? Or is he actually going, no, I really trust Theo Dan. I really like the look of Theo Dan. He's going to be the number 2 hooker, so I really want to give him some game time. I don't know which of those two camps Steve Borthwick is sitting in at the minute. That's where I can't really get a feel for it. So let me just say some positives and some things I really like. Ollie Chesham back in the side. I thought he really added something, attitude and energy as much as anything when he came on. And the other thing is it's great to see a player working so hard and getting back after injury. So I'm delighted for him that he's back. And I don't know whether you've seen the content on the England channels, the O2 Inside Line. Ollie Chesham welling up at the end of the national anthem and then the hug he had with his mum after the game. Obviously, he's come back from a dark place to make it back into the England team, and you get the sense with him he's going to take his opportunity. And I think England needs some energy and enthusiasm like that. And the back row, I'm excited to see Jack Willis again. Slightly concerned we haven't seen Tom Curry at all, but Jack Willis is a baller. Ben Earl's a different kind of number 8 to Billy V. Hopefully that means Steve Borthwick is going to evolve the way his England team play. I hope so, at least. Dan Cole at prop with Ellis Genge. That says to me that they're the props for Argentina, I think. Will Stewart, I've been excited about him. And go back a month and I thought, well, he's England's tight head prop. Ahead of Carl Sinclair, of course. But do we just need a rock-solid scrum? I have to say, I think one of England's biggest problems is our front row is not great. And that's not just because Luke Cowan-Dickey's not there injured as a hooking option. It's just not elite. It's not elite. And that's one of the reasons why the game plan England have just is not working. It's very much like South Africa 2019, isn't it? And you can only play that high pressure, big defensive energy if you have a scrum that is dominating and a set piece that is dominating. And England just don't have that. Just don't have that. So yeah, I honestly don't know what to make of that team. I'm excited a little bit, and then I'm apprehensive and I'm asking questions. Why is Johnny May there? What's going on? Did you notice the talk of Marcus Smith being tried at 15? Came on at fullback briefly last week, or he played some of the game at fullback last week, and he's been used there in training apparently. And what that says to me, I'm glad for what it's worth that Marcus Smith is not starting this game at 15. But rewind a year, and would you have ever said, and I'm going to say, is Freddie Steward, do we need to look at different options for Freddie Steward? Have oppositions worked him out? When he first came onto the international scene, he was incredible under the high ball at a time when teams kicked a lot and he was dominant. But have we seen teams work out that if you just don't kick the ball to Freddie Steward, you neutralise him a lot? And actually, if you run at him, you maybe find one of the limitations in his game defensively. I wonder. He's not looking quite as infallible as he did. And he is a class player, don't get me wrong. And I'm not trying to say he shouldn't play for England. I'm just saying, do you need something else? And is the fact that Marcus Smith was being looked at as an option at 15 because there's a bit of recognition that actually you do need 2 playmakers, Richie Mwanga and Bowden Barrett for New Zealand, Villy LaRue and Marnie Libok for South Africa. Even Ireland at the weekend had Mac Hansen coming in and playing that kind of role as well. So I think there might be a recognition that you do need a little bit of something else to unlock international defences, which is why, I know he wasn't playing very well, which is why I think the one player England are missing is Henry Slade. And I'm fine with Henry Slade being cut from the squad. I probably would have kept him, but I'm fine with that. But you need to then replace what he brought to that team when he was at his best. And that's another playmaker doing something, which is why I think Max Malins may be on the wing and he's got an opportunity to get a starting berth. But it may well be why you do need to consider something else at 15, whether it is Elliot Daly or whether it is Max Malins at 15. Equally, I also think, coming back round again, thinking further down the line in the World Cup, I think it's why, and I've been saying this for ages and the comments have not been positive when I've said it, I don't think Ford Farrell is done yet. Because you do need 2 playmaking options at international rugby. And maybe Ford Farrell is the best way of achieving that. I don't know. I think Steve Borthwick would want it as an option, which is why without Owen Farrell for a couple of games, I think that's why he might be exploring the possibilities with using Marcus Smith. And you wouldn't want to put Marcus Smith or George Ford at 12, but maybe for the last 20 minutes of a game, when England are usually behind, you might want to try something. So let's see how we go. I guess more than anything, I want to get a bit of enthusiasm come the end of the match. I don't really care about the result. I think England should... Well, no, I do, actually. England need to get into the mindset of winning. So I take that back completely. We have to win, but I don't just want to see a win. I want to see a little something more, a bit of ambition, a bit of energy, not feeling so slow and lethargic. And if you go into this game like that, you're going to get walloped by some massive Fijian units. So I'm always optimistic again when a game comes around. So come on, let's do it this time. And as much as anything, let's get a bit of enthusiasm back so that Twickenham, actually the next time England play at Twickenham, because this is the last time they played for a while, the next time it's actually full and you haven't closed this top tier of the stadium, which is unheard of. It's going to be full and noisy tomorrow night when New Zealand play South Africa there. Thank you for watching. I'm Tim. Give me your comments. What do you reckon? What do you make of it? I'll see you on the next video.